I always hear about people talk about high value. They talk about high value man, high value woman. What exactly is a high value man? What exactly is a high value woman? I'm not going to get into the high value woman thing in this video, but I will talk about what I think are 3 things you can do to become a high value man. In my personal and honest opinion, I don't think it needs to be that complicated. I think in the general sense, a high value man is exactly the way it sounds. You are valuable to society. You're valuable to the people around you. Do you need to be rich to be valuable? No, not all rich people are valuable. Just look at Cardi B. Just look at Catch Me Outside Girl. What is her name? Bad Barbie. I don't know what her name is, moron. Just look at Tekashi 6ix9ine. They're not valuable people. They make entertaining music and they're entertaining people. So I guess you can argue that to a degree, they're valuable for the sake of entertainment, but that's not high value. That's low value. So that doesn't matter that much. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be famous. But I do think there's 3 things you can personally do that you can completely 100% affect that will make you high value. And I want to put this out here as a caveat to my idea of high value. To me, something is valuable when it's scarce. The more rare something is in general, the more valuable it is in general. So that means as an individual, the more things you can do and the more things you're capable of that other people cannot do or are unwilling to do, the more value you can have as an individual. Think about it this way. You go to a job interview. There's 5 of you. Maybe 4 people that apply, they look sloppy. They can't dress well. Maybe they don't have a good resume. Maybe they don't have a website. You, on the other hand, you showed up, you're groomed, you're wearing a nice pressed dress shirt, you have a nice suit on, everything matches, everything's coordinated. You're very well spoken. You can articulate your thoughts clearly and effectively. Your resume is spot on. You hired someone to organize it, tailor it, help you sell yourself in the best way possible. And maybe you even went the extra mile and had a website. Perhaps you didn't buy a domain name. Maybe it says .wix.com or .weebly.com or .whatever.com, .wordpress, whatever. But you have a website. You stand out. You put in the extra effort and you went the extra mile. Do you think that your employers, your potential employers, would consider you high value relative to the other applicants? I would say they would. And I think that same general logic applies in real life. So the first thing you can do to become a high value man in 2023 is exercise regularly and get to 8 to 12% body fat. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking to yourself, that sounds way too easy and too simple. Even though it might sound simple and easy, think about it this way. Over half of all Americans are overweight. Over half. Out of those people that are overweight, I think about 30 to 40% of them are obese. So basically most people you come across are fat. Without sugarcoating it, most people you come across are fat. They're overweight. They're out of shape. So when it comes to, remember I mentioned scarcity and rarity. What's more rare? A guy that's fat or a guy that's in generally good shape? There we go. So you can be high value by simply going to the gym regularly, exercising regularly, and being in relatively good shape. It's not that complicated. So that's the first thing you can do. Just be in better shape than everyone else, and you're already halfway there. You're already 33% there. You've already proven yourself to be in the top 10% by that alone. Now, the second thing you can do to be a high value man in 2023, don't live paycheck to paycheck. And again, I know that might sound simple, but most people live paycheck to paycheck. I want to say that I read a statistic that I think it was about 20 to 40% of people that make over 6 figures also live paycheck to paycheck. And the reason is because I think most people just don't understand how to spend money. They don't understand how the value of money. They don't understand how money works. And they certainly don't know how to spend it or invest it. So I think by you simply knowing how to spend money and how to save money and living relatively below your means. And I'm not saying be one of those misers that never buys coffee, never goes out, never does fun stuff, never purchases nice things. I don't believe in that. I think that's garbage. I think money is meant to be spent, duh. But I think you have to also be reasonable with what you spend your money on. And I do think you need to think long term when it comes to spending your money. So as long as you don't live paycheck to paycheck, and as long as you can save some of it and budget some of it and invest some of it, you are better off than most people. Easily. And it's very easy to do. Now, by the way, if you're thinking to yourself that you have no idea how to invest your money, how to spend your money, how money works, I have a free course on my website. It's called the No Fluff Finances course. There's a link down in the description. Click the link. It's free, 100% free. It's like 6 modules. It'll show you everything, all the basics about how money works, how I believe you should spend it, how I believe you should invest it. And I even get into a bonus section about how you can purchase real estate in order to become financially free in the long run and get cash flow properties. Like I said, it's free, completely free. The link is in the description. Go check it out. And by doing that, it'll help you get to that path of being a high value man. Now, the third and final thing that will make you a high value man in 2023 and beyond: develop good social skills with men and women. And the reason why I said with men and women is because, first of all, my belief is that men and women process reality differently. Think about that for a second. I think men and women process reality differently. And I think in order for you to be a high value individual, you need to be, to a degree, charming. You need to be able to socialize with people, especially in the modern era where most people don't socialize well at all, where most people are always behind screens, where most people barely have face-to-face interactions, at least not to the same degree that they used to. Having basic charisma, having good social skills, just good, not even great, not fantastic, not excellent, not masterful, not superb, not superior, just good. Just having good social skills is going to be far more valuable than all the people who have shit social skills, which will be most people very soon. Again, the reason why I said men and women is because I do think that there's nuance to communicating effectively with men, and I think there's nuance to communicating effectively with women. I have met many men who can speak well to other men, who can sort of joke, play around, bust balls, have a good time, but then they talk to women and it goes downhill because maybe they make jokes too extreme and they're not received well. Or maybe there's, I don't want to get too deep into some nuances, but things like maybe the way they say things or the tonality that they use or things of that nature. There's some little nuances that they miss that keeps them from communicating with women effectively. My belief is that if you can just be good at communicating with men and women, both individually, you will be a high value man relative to most people because most people aren't good communicators. So those are 3 things that I recommend you do to become a high value man in 2023. But wait, there's more. I told you there was 3 things you can do to be a high value man. I lied. There's a 4th thing. I'm giving you a bonus because I'm Leviticus and I like to help people and I try to be a valuable person. So the 4th thing that you can do to be a high value man in 2023 is spread positivity. And I know that sounds super like woo-woo and airy-fairy and all that stuff, but I'm actually being pretty serious about that. One of the best things you can do as a man is spread positivity. And the reason for that is because the world is so negative. I've talked about this before in videos. I've read books about this, but humans are so prone to what's known as the negativity bias. We are wired to see negativity and to sort of fixate on it. Granted, it kept us alive in the sort of caveman era, let's call it that. But nowadays, you'll find that people just fixate on negativity simply for the sake of being negative. So I think if you can be a man, I think if you as a man can come into a room, come into a situation, come into a setting and be positive and spread positivity instead of negativity, that by itself will make you a far more high value man, person in general, but certainly a more high value man than anyone else that you'll encounter. So those are my 4 tips on how to be a high value man in 2023. Hope this video helped. Hope this all made sense. Let me know what you think about these tips in the comment below. And until next time, I'll see you. Peace out.